I like to cook the chicken broth. And you might be asking, what the fuck does that mean? Doesn't make much sense, does it? No, I take little tiny chickens. Have you heard on previous episodes? Little tiny chickens. I grab 2 of them. They're little Cornish game hens. I take them in a fucking crock pot with some water. And I just boil them for fucking 2 days straight. And I make some chicken broth out of them because essentially Cornish game hens are chickens. They're just little tiny chickens. And I make some broth, and you get all that broth, and you fucking sip that shit, and it makes you feel good in the morning. You wake up, you don't need an energy drink. You don't need Strike Force energy, even though if you get the Strike Force energy, you use code VIOPRO, you get fucking some money off, 20% off. You get that Strike Force energy in your body. But you get the chicken in the crock pot, you fucking boil it with water and it turns into the fucking wonderful chicken juice. And you drink that shit, and as soon as it hits your body, it's like, well, goddamn, I feel amazing. But usually Cornish game hens, they come in these little plastic sacks, and you take the sack and you hold it up over the sink or a fucking receptacle or some shit, and you take a knife and stab it in there and then fucking slice, and it sprays out chicken juice and full of blood. And it's like you put that in the crock pot too because you want to save all that those fucking nutrients from the chicken butt. And you pour it in there, you make some fine chicken juice, and then you drink it in a few days, and it's fucking fantastic. You get all the chicken stem cells, you get all the power of the tiny chicken in your body. And you take that sip, and you're like, oh my God, fuck, I feel amazing. It's kind of like a little hit of drugs, but a nondescript drugs. And I was wondering, I was like, I wonder if there was something bigger and smarter than us. You go back to like, how much smarter are we than chickens? Little chickens and Cornish game hens. They just run around and eat bugs and shit. It's like, take that difference of the smartness of a fucking little Cornish game hen and us, and then go, okay, what's next after that? And it's scary as fuck to think about. It's scary to think. Like, if you take the movie Aliens, and like, there's supposedly the fucking the most perfect species ever, and they have psychic ability and shit, and they don't have eyes, and they just run around and fucking nuke shit left and right, and they don't give a fuck. But it's kind of like how you would look, like if we think about like that could be a realistic thing, that's how chickens look at us. And so I was like, what if there was something smarter, faster, and fucking way bigger than us? They would do the same thing to us. They would fucking cut our heads off, cut our feet and fucking our hands and hoofs off, and put us in little plastic bags sealed up for a year of expiration. And then they just fucking put us in a crock pot that's way bigger than the house I live in. And they're just like, put a bunch of people in there, and then they fucking cook us and they sip on us. That's some crazy shit to think about. It's like, why are we the last stop in this whole train? I walk my dog in the morning. It takes a massive shit. And there's always these 2 anthills that are always interconnected, and I look at them, I'm like, how many ants are out today? It's like, why aren't the fucking aliens looking at us like that? They probably are. But it's like, you can eat ants and you could eat chickens and all that shit. It's like, why are we the last stop? There's got to be something more. But it's horrifying to think that we are, like, if there's people out there and there's something bigger, if there is something bigger, they probably have a grocery store that's just a little bit different than ours. And they're like, yep, I need this for food. And then they pull it out and it's like, they cut off all the other shit, like the fucking hands, hooves, the fucking head, because they're not eating the head. Maybe they're sucking up our brains. And that's a specialty you get somewhere else on a different aisle. But they're getting all the fucking strength. They're getting all the fucking power, and they continue to grow against us, against our wills, against our power. And it makes me think there's got to be something bigger, and we've got to be in sacks somewhere in plastic, you know. And I'll finish this episode by saying that we are the tiny chickens of our story, and you are the tiny chicken of your story, because we're all wrapped in plastic, and it's fantastic. You know, don't let that little ditty get you down. None of this should get you down. It's a nonsense story. It's a cautionary tale to what's actually happening.